This is the Bookham podcast, and today I've got two guests. I've got Sam and Teddy, or Teddy and Sam, however you want to spin it.
Sam and Teddy.
Sam and Teddy. That's what we said. Yeah, I do. I think I said Teddy and Sam first, but Sam and Teddy definitely does flow better.
Yeah.
But how are you both?
Yeah, I'm all sweet, mate. Yeah. Just having a good summer.
Yeah.
Already.
Making the most of it. What about you, Sam?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nothing new to really report. Just
Yeah, exactly.
Same old Sam.
I'm just waiting for the football to start up again.
Yeah.
That's all I'm waiting for now.
Yeah. No, mate. Well, Sam did want to say, let's not get into talking about Tottenham. Like, I think that's probably a sensible approach.
I've got to bring it up. We're all Tottenham fans here. It's got
To
to
be
be
fair, new manager. I feel like we can speak on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I mean, I'll be real though. It's quite bad because I have no idea, nothing about him. I don't know his style of play.
I think he's quite attacking minded, which is probably more going back to what Spurs should be about in my mind.
Oh god, yeah. Like the last couple of seasons have been painful defensive football.
Yeah, it has been pretty. Honestly. It has been pretty dire, really. But yeah, like sort of going from like someone like Mourinho, who's like, and you saw what he was trying to play.
Yeah.
But I think the problem was we just weren't good enough for it.
Yeah. I agree with that, to be fair. Like, I think the main problem with it is that we just got sussed out by every team that we came up against.
Well,
when we played them the second time round, we struggled against.
His football is just an old style of play, and everyone sussed it out. Everyone knows how to
exactly.
Counter.
Yeah, I mean, even with the duo of Kane and Son that season, and we couldn't do anything about it. It just kind of tells you about our club. To be fair, like the luck that we have.
You get them two on the counter and you're scared.
Exactly.
I'm not being funny, but still, like
there was no one product in the season. That's how it goes.
We just couldn't keep. Like we started well at Christmas, There's jokes saying, "Oh, we've won the league already."
Yeah, mate.
And
I was having a great time.
Yeah,
I feel like Ted, you're one of those Spurs fans that gets so carried away. Like as soon as there's an opportunity to get carried away, you get carried away.
Yeah, it got to my head a little bit. But I always said that I didn't think we were going to win it.
No.
But if you was to say to me back then we finished 7th, I wouldn't have believed you. Like, I was all for top 4 that season. But
the thing is that I think it is like, because I think obviously we're in such like an awkward space where it's like we're good, but we're not good enough to win shit. So then I think as soon as there's like a hint of something, we just get carried away with it, and almost maybe that then becomes our undoing a bit because we're so focused on having to win something and being like the be all or end all that it puts additional pressure on the players, and it's just like there's almost that anxiety around it as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
I feel like as well we still haven't got that winning mindset.
And that's what
every
that's
season
why they brought Mourinho in, wasn't it? Because they were like, look, he's a proven winner.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That it just sums up our club. You bring in a manager that is known for being one of the best ever, constantly winning trophies, and he comes here and he wins diddly squat. You know what I mean? Like it just.
I mean, he got us to a final, and then
I
think they should have
don't
kept
even get
him
me
for the
started
final.
on that. Oh my!
And then
Lord.
after the final, then sacked him.
That's exactly what I think. That's just common sense to do that though. Like, that hurt my heart when I read the article about him getting sacked. It really did, and like so many people were excited about it. It really confused me.
I think it brings us back to that situation sort of pre Pochettino where it was just jumping between managers.
Yeah.
And I that's definitely sort of space we could end up in, where we just got we're sort of insecure and we're just like, oh fuck, new manager, recycle, and it's like I thought once we brought Poch in we were over that phase.
Yeah, he brought us. It felt like he sort of brought us into a new era.
Was the bit that that new era, that sort of feeling of stability as well, that sort of feeling like we were going places, we were going to win something, and then I think obviously he, in some ways he overachieved by getting us to the Champions League final. I don't think that was expected of him.
Oh yeah.
Oh no way.
But then the problem was,
to this day I don't know how.
I'm still not over it. But
the problem was
that night in Amsterdam.
That's all we've got in our lifetime.
But that then set the bar up there.
Yeah,
it was like way beyond, and then it was like obviously then it came into the next season, and things weren't great. I was
expecting to compete for the league, and like everything like that, and it just really didn't go that direction, did it? It was we had a bit of a mare the last couple of seasons, but I mean, the thing is with Spurs as well, like we've had finals. So when was the last time we won? 2008. Yeah, and then we've had like 3 finals since, and however many FA Cup semi-finals. It's just it's just bottle jobs. That's it.
It's
Like
the final hurdle that we can't get over.
We've now taken the stereotype that other teams gave us, which is Tottenham are bottle jobs. That is now our thing.
But it's bizarre though, because when you think about it, like throughout all those times that you've bottled it, it's a completely different team, like a completely different set of players, isn't it? But it's weird. You then maybe just go, okay, but if I'm at Spurs and we're known as the bottlers, I've ended up here for a reason, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they don't think about it at all. Maybe it's just by chance, by luck, we haven't won anything.
Yeah, I honestly I can't tell. I have no words to like say why we don't win stuff. Like, I think the final that we had last season, that came down to players' mentality, and obviously the fact that we had a new manager and it was only his second or third game.
Just shook everything
exactly. Like it just.
So you think obviously we should have started with Mourinho just to let him sit it out?
1,000,000%.
Because they got there with him. Although we weren't performing elsewhere, we'd still got to that.
And it's not only got to that; it's Jose Mourinho in the final.
Yeah.
Like,
and
you can't never doubt him.
But do you know my one thing that would have pissed me off about that is the fact that you know what Mourinho would have been like, because he probably still would have got the sack realistically.
Oh yeah, I reckon so. Yeah.
But the thing, I reckon if he won that, it would have been slightly different.
Oh, maybe
Because that's his bargaining chip.
Yeah. But then the thing I worry about is, so like we've been playing shit football for a couple of years now, and it's like then you then have Mourinho who then wins that and then goes, okay, I've done my job, and you know what he's like as well. He like say have all these interviews where he'd be like, oh, like but I did everything that was after me, and I was
yeah.
No, you didn't, because you've basically like regressed our playing style. Like you've obviously tried to impose how you want to play, rather than seeing the players and going, right, what's the best I can get out of them?
Yeah, exactly. He's just, I think from that team he took 2 or 3 players and he was like, yeah, these play well in this style, I'm going to keep it. And like, it's Mourinho.
One, wasn't it?
Oh god, yeah. What was going on there? That is beyond me as well.
But
just so many little things about last season, it just adds up, don't it? Like, you've got Dyer, Sanchez, I could go on and on.
Sanchez is a weird one, because his first season he was unreal.
Yeah, he was good.
He was ridiculous.
I had high hopes for him. Yeah.
And I don't know what's happened. I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I don't know if it's maybe he was outperforming and now he's found his level. Maybe, but he's a weird one. Do you just
think Tottenham kills players as well? Do you think that's like an aspect of it? I mean, like, yeah, we grow players. Like, you look at Bale, Modric, Robbie Keane, all of them lot, Berbatov, but
Teddy Sheringham.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I just think when it comes down to it, like, a few players I can think of that have come in and had an impact, but not even an end product impact, because like, once again, we haven't won anything, is like Son. He's obviously world class. Ericsson, when we brought him in, and then like, other than that, like, Kane came through the system really.
Yeah.
He's been here since day one. So I just.
How do you change that though?
I don't know. I honestly I don't even think they have a solution for it.
Well, what I say we do is sell Kane. Pains me to say it, but we need the funds.
I've never heard anyone say that. Yeah.
We need the funds from him.
Yeah, but then look at the funds that we got from Bale, and then we got Ericsson, Lamella, and Soldado.
We tried to
reinvest.
Yeah,
like, come on.
But I feel like we've got, what's his face, the new Italian guy, Patrici. I don't know his new name.
The director of football.
Yeah. And apparently he's quite good at spotting talent players and convincing them to come.
But the problem is that, and I think back to that Bale situation, so obviously then every club knows you've got all this money, you've got this pot of money. They know that they've got more bargaining power in that sense then, because they know, okay, we've seen how much you've just sold him for.
Yeah.
We know you've got the money, so don't be tight with us, even if it is Levy.
Yeah.
And as well, the markets these days, it's ridiculous. Like, just for anyone, it's 30 mil.
Yeah.
Like, for anyone, like, they don't even have to have done anything.
Look,
like,
I think United just bought Sancho.
Agent.
Yeah, I saw that actually.
Don't be cheeky.
I actually got trolled last year. My uncle shouted out, "We've just bought Messi." I went absolutely mental. I don't know how I believe that one, but
imagine
yeah.
that, Messi, Son and Kane. Cool.
Yeah, I don't even think Kane will be there for it. I honestly, like, a player as big as Messi coming, I don't think it would even keep Kane around. I honestly, I
so
really don't.
You think Kane's
like personal preference?
Do you think Kane's going to leave then?
I reckon. Well, he wants to. Even if he doesn't leave, he's not going to play for the badge anymore. Like, it's just, you can just tell by the end of the last season, like, in the final. Come on, like, you're the player to bring us the goal, and he's walking about. But it's been like that. It's been like that for so many years now. Like,
but even now with England, he's not really performing too well.
Yeah.
Like he scored that one goal. Apart from that, Raheem Sterling's been running the show.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a strange one. I think he's obviously had his injuries, and I think you need to factor that in a bit as well.
True.
Like I think maybe that's like knocked his confidence a bit because he's obviously had quite a lot of time out, and I think he's obviously had since then a few periods where he's done really well.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been completely like back to the level he was. And I guess it's difficult because you look at him and you're just like, right, okay, how do we get you back to that level? Is it because lack of motivation? Are you just like in this situation?
I reckon motivation's got something to do with it. I mean, you're the best striker in the world, and you've got nothing to show for it. Like it's going to be hard to grasp on motivation in that point. But like even so, I think where do we go even after if we sell Kane? Like I know we were talking about the money situation, but then what happens to our play style then? Like that's probably my main worry.
That's the thing. I feel like it is our attack, especially, is quite heavily built around him. Because we get it up to him.
It's built only around him.
People spin off him, all of that sort of stuff, and even so, you see him dropping into CDM. Like, what's he doing there?
Yeah,
I mean,
that is weird.
He
but
comes
he
in there
can deliver though.
he still pulls the strings. I'm not being funny.
But is that the sort of a Mourinho effect where he's probably told him, look, you need to be doing this stuff? Because like we all know, he can play a ball.
Yeah.
Oh God, his playmaking was. I mean, he won. He got most assists. Like it speaks for itself, don't it? Like, yeah, some of the passes he plays from our half.
His vision
scary.
is ridiculous.
Because
I think in his head as well, he knows exactly the kind of ball he'd want to receive as well.
Oh yeah,
so that's
the whole style around him, ain't it? But yeah, that's my argument for him being the best striker in the world is that he's got that playmaking style as well with him.
I can't agree with you on that.
You can't. What, Lewandowski?
No, I mean
Haaland.
If you say striker, as in goal scoring striker, yes, Lewandowski.
Well,
yeah.
I'm talking about the position of striker. Like you talk about striker.
I think there's like because I think I'd struggle to define Kane as a better striker than someone like Lewandowski, who's like just a goal scorer. He'll just banging goals like he will. Like he's so complete in that sense, but as an all-round kind of striker, sort of contributing to the team as well. I think Kane. I think for that, Kane would be up there. It's so hard though. I think people focus on too much on like, are they the best? Are they not? It doesn't really. I think almost like once you're past a certain level, you just go right. You're up there. You're just unreal.
Yeah. I think Mbappe's a bit of a fraud.
Yeah, I
he's
think that as well.
fast. Yeah, he can. I don't know.
I mean, people compare him to Ronaldo at that age. I mean, I've never understood
Fat Ronaldo or
CR7.
CR7.
Yeah, like because how old he must have been at United at Mbappe's age. I don't know if he's 22. Yeah, but he was another level. He'd already had he might have had a Ballon d'Or at that point, but yeah. Like Mbappe, he's a fraud. I completely agree with that. I think Haaland's the one.
Yeah, I'd say he's
in
my opinion. I reckon he is currently the best striker. Like if you was to give me
in terms of his potential and stuff as well, you mean?
And that, like I'd say, if you was going to build a team and you said you've got one striker in the world, I'm hands down choosing him.
Like, because of his age as well.
Yeah, he's fast. His age. I mean, that man knows how to.
He plays like a 30-year-old with he plays like he's got that experience, which is
composed as well. To be fair, I haven't seen ridiculous amounts of him, but what I have seen, but it's difficult when you try and base your opinion of someone on highlights because obviously the highlights are going to be the best bits.
I'm probably there with you on that one as well, like highlights. And I watched the City Dortmund game, and that was the most I saw of him. But I'll be real, Diaz clamped him up. Game.
Diaz is class.
But the thing
he's
is
a fraud though as well. Like how he won PFA Player of the Year, do not get me started on that. Honestly, Van Dijk done better than him last season, and then Kane didn't win it this year. Like stats wise,
big up Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, but you talk about rivalry though as well, like Liverpool City, and like it comes down to the players, don't it? Like I just that was a factor as well that just wound me up. With because you've got like player rivalries, not in the sense they hate each other, but they're going for the top place. And then I think Kane outshines in that aspect, like as an individual player. Like when you compare him to other players, you'll be like, oh no, Kane tops that because of these reasons. And I think that's motivation he goes off now, is that he wants to be better than others.
Got the passion for it.
Yeah, because he can't like we said, he can't really do anything for a team. So I think maybe he's just doing stuff for himself now. Like you could say that.
Possibly.
But
it is a tricky one. It is a tricky one because he's such a talented player, and it's one of them. I think it would hurt me a little bit if he left, but I'd also understand
definitely.
it.
Oh God, it'll break.
Because I think it would be upsetting, but equally, I think most level-headed Spurs fans would go, I can see why you're doing that.
I think it's best.
Oh,
it's best for
I
us
completely
and
understand.
him
Yeah.
I think my only
if he was to sort of go.
my only one was I think I'd prefer if he were to go abroad though.
Yeah. If I was to say
100%.
you've got to go abroad, I know that I'm assuming he wants to stay in the Premier League.
Where would he go though? Like
Abroad.
PSG?
I don't think.
I couldn't see him abroad though. This is the thing.
I think
as much as I'd want him to
Because
go there.
you know the thing is you need to deep as well. Like he's obviously got like a young family as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wonder, like, it's tricky because some people that might be like, okay, like, I'm staying here, I want to settle here, I've got my family around to look after and all that. But other people might be going, okay, they're still at that really young age where it's like it doesn't make a difference if they go to, they'll be able to pick up the language.
Yeah. I think he's got a baby on the way as well, don't he?
Yeah, I think they've
He's
got.
already-
Haven't
he's
they
already
recently
got
had a second one?
I think.
No, he's got two girls, and then he's
Yeah,
got,
he has actually had one. I think it's this year. I think it's very
I don't
recent.
even know.
But
yeah, I
that's-
thought he had a son on the way.
That's something I think a lot of people don't consider is like the fact that
That's what I was going to say.
that people are the players are people outside of football.
Exactly. Yeah.
Got families.
You
and stuff.
never think about stuff like that though, do you? Like
It's mad because you'll be like, oh yeah, he's a baller, he's this, he's that,
Yeah.
he's done this for so many seasons, and then, I'm thinking of a few examples of, so for instance, Mourinho, like when he said about, obviously not a player, but he's in that realm of football profession in that Amazon documentary where he comes in, and he's like, my dog's died,
Yeah.
and he was just like, look guys, that's fucked me up. Like if I'm coming across whatever, it's nothing to do with you guys.
Yeah.
My dog's died. And like, I'm sure anyone who's ever had a dog or a pet of any description would understand like how that can tear you up,
Yeah.
and how that can like fuck you up. And particularly if you're at that level where you're trying to perform, at the very, very top
Yeah.
end of your game, and something like that happens to you.
Yeah. I
Fucking
think that's why
hell.
it gets streamed in the media as well when like a footballer or like celebrity loses someone close to them, because then it's like there to remind you that they're people too, innit? Like they have relationships like that. But yeah, with the documentary, actually, I never finished it.
Did you not?
No.
I don't think I did.
I only watched like the first two.
Yeah, I liked it.
I did really enjoy it, and then I remember saying to my dad, I was like, do you want to sit down and watch the rest with me? And he was like, nah, I can't, I don't want to. But
No,
yeah,
I
so
love
never got
I
back
love
round
all
to
that
it.
like behind the scenes stuff because it shows you
Yeah.
those different sides, those like where you go, okay, fucking hell, like yeah, you have those you obviously you see that 90 minutes, the interviews after that's it. You don't see like the arguments in the dressing room.
Yeah.
You don't see all the stuff on the training
Like
ground.
the pressure that they must be under as well. Like that's what I kind of got from what I watched of it.
Yeah.
Like they're in constant battle with each other. Like despite them being friends.
Yeah.
But I think like with as well, like you look at people like Roy Keane and like what's his name, Jamie Carragher. They're just like, you shouldn't be friends with people you're in a team with. Like
No.
you should have friends outside of a team. Like that's what they said, because I mean, like obviously, yeah, like people do have friends in the team, but I remember I watched an interview with Jamie Carragher, and he was like, yeah, I don't talk to them anymore. Like they're just teammates, and I think that's like, if players nowadays had that sort of mentality, there'll be a lot more like competition.
It's a tricky one. I do get what you're saying, because I think if you want to have that edge about you,
Yeah.
where you're just like, do you know what, like we're in a team, but equally, I'm trying to get that edge over you to be playing, to make sure my shirt is the first one.
Yeah, because you got to play for yourself, ain't you?
Yeah, but it's tricky, because then you think some of the best teams they've at least seemed to have sort of like that sort of friend. I particularly think of Spurs a bit as well. When we were playing our best football, it seems like there was just like a real bond between them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it's tricky, because you're like, okay, like imagine you're playing with your mates, and one of your mates gets, someone puts in the challenge, a late tackle.
Yeah,
on it.
exactly. There's more passion behind it.
There's more
afterwards.
passion behind it. So from that sense, you could also see that would also be helpful. But then as well, you can see that other end of, I think you need a blend. Too often we're trying to go, oh, it has to be one or the other. You can have a blend where it's just like, right, when it comes to doing my personal training and that, I'm just going to focus on myself. I'm going to be ruthless.
As long as you've got each other's back on the pitch, then I think the rest don't. Well,
But do you not think you solidify that through that stuff off the field as well, like by going out with one another, actually giving a toss, like.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, I think having a stronger relationship it can affect like on and off. Like you said, Spurs give really good examples. Like you got like Ali and Son, like they were really close. And then like I think it must be good because obviously like Ali's actually a really good example because he dropped off massively. Like he was world class and look where he is now. He's not even in the England squad. And yeah, like Ali dropping off like that, having people that are close around him who he's with every day must have helped
massively.
Yeah,
to keep his head right, to go, you know what, keep going. But it's difficult because it's one of them like where you want them. And when we say friends, I don't mean it in the loose sense. I don't mean just being friendly. I mean actually being
like
friends,
actual mates,
like actual mates, where they're not only just being like nice. Like I think maybe that's what like Carragher and Keane and that sort of old generation thing of, where it's just everyone's being too overly like, oh, don't worry, mate, you do better next game, like you're fine. Whereas I think if you sort of took that approach of actually having a real friendship, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna call you out on shit, or you know, I'll have a word in your ear. You know, I'll be nice when you need it, when you need a bit of a boost, but if I see something, I'm going to call you out. And I think if you've got a decent friendship group within the bunch, that's a lot easier.
You can hack that criticism as well.
Exactly.
You can give it, you can take it.
Things will get heated at times, but like all the best friendships, you have arguments at times.
I was going to say, because when you do have that sort of stuff, you sort of, at the time, you sort of feel like, oh, they're being nasty, they're picking on you.
Yeah.
But you know deep down, they're doing it because they sort of want to see you do well, and they don't want to see you go down that road or path.
It shows that they're doing it for the club and for the fans and not just themselves. And
I'd say it's even like that out of football as well. It's not just, oh, you need to do this to improve your game. It's you need to do this to improve yourself as a person.
God, don't get that deep. Jesus.
No, we're good. We're good. We can't be football chat the whole. I know that's what you're comfortable taking.
Oh, but that is the only place.
That's your comfort zone, football.
Big time.
But no, actually, I think that might be like a nice transition then to talking about because you both obviously play football, don't you? Like, do you want to talk about like some of your experiences like playing in teams, like whether you've had situations where like maybe you've got on with a team, maybe you haven't so much, and how that's impacted how you've played?
Are we talking about the team we're playing in?
It could be anything.
We're playing against.
Could be anything.
Say, I've got some stories for teams we're playing against.
Whatever comes to mind. Well, as in friends or enemies?
I mean,
enemies mid-game, friends afterwards.
That's his style. I'm not really like that.
Nah.
I'm not. I'm more of someone like if there's like something in a game, I'm there to split it up.
Yeah, I'm the exact same.
I'm more like that. Yeah. He loves it. No, you just throwing Brexit challenges, mate. You're doing it on yourself.
Absolutely.
Proper leg breakers. Yeah. The thing is, I love a challenge like that. So it could be 60-40 and I'll make it 50-50. One of them ones. Yeah. Like I love that. I love a bit of contact. I'll just delay going in a bit just to make I'll tempt them in.
Yeah, have a heavy touch on purpose.
Like, oh go on. And I see their eyes looking. But I'm one of them. Like I love that physical side of it. But equally, if things go overboard where it's like fisticuff, swinging and all of that, I'm just like, what's the point?
Yeah,
it's been silly.
That's the thing. I'm the type of player that I like to get into people's heads.
Yeah.
I like to push it to that point. Because I'm quite tactically minded. It's like if I can get in your head, maybe a fight will start. You'll get sent off. Unlucky buddy, you've got less players now.
So you're like the Tyson Fury of the football world, just living in people's heads, just rattling them.
Bit of rent free.
Yeah, so I'm like, because I play football for the same team for God knows how long now, like I don't know, 12 years maybe, and like I've never been physical, and I was like when I played, obviously he knows, like when I played for school I was tiny, like throughout my whole school years I was tiny, and then that obviously affected my game, like my mental and physical game. I didn't like making challenges, I didn't like going shoulder to shoulder with people, and then that actually dropped my standard, because I not to be arrogant, but when like younger age, like 12, 13, I like to think I was a pretty good footballer for my age, and then when everyone started growing and I stayed the same, like I hated the physical side of it.
It was when you had all the big people like Josh, Corey, Spencer, all in those like first 3 or 4 years where they were just bigger than everyone else. Like I remember one thing that will always stick out in my head is when I played Lempsford on...
And how much Josh Wiseman dominated.
Yeah, and I remember I played him on the 3G pitch at Monks Wharf. That's when I was playing for Wellington.
We beat them 5-4.
Yeah, and I was literally running down the line, and I went to shoulder barge in, and he barely moved. I bounced off him. And
I remember that. I was standing right next to him.
And I literally sat there. I was like, holy shit! I've just been. Yeah. I went for him, and he's just Put
just
your
not
shoulder
thought
out,
anything
just
of
said no.
it.
See,
yeah.
that's what I was scared of happening. Like, not only the embarrassment, but just like purely for just like I didn't want to get injured. Like, because I was like obviously really skinny as well. I was quite fragile. So yeah, that's
So you,
maybe
like,
why
obviously
I
the
hate
boys
it.
that are a bit bigger, you just bounce off them.
Yeah,
hurt
yeah,
yourself.
yeah. Oh god, I wouldn't even bounce off it. I wouldn't even give them the opportunity to
That's
do
the
that
thing
to
that
me.
sort of confused me though, because you know how much of like an aggressive player I am,
Yeah,
and I've
yeah.
only had 2 serious injuries. One was where I was playing against Cuffley, and I went for a 50-50 against 2 people. Like, they was literally both running at it like
I
that.
don't think that's a 50-50 then, right?
Well, whatever it was, they was both going for it, and I stuck my knee in, like my leg in like that to get the ball,
yeah.
and one of them ran this way across this part of my leg, and then that way across that part of my leg, and my knee was just in the middle. And that's the day before PE moderation where Alex took my place.
Really? What?
Yeah.
Then when we played at Monk's Walk?
Yeah.
Oh, so it was actually quite not. Yeah,
It
quite
was a
recent.
really shit time.
And you said there was 2 injuries, so another one as well.
The other one was when this was literally just playing school football, kicked Edson's shin. You can actually still see the mark there.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
down here, that's completely numb still.
Edson's 3 years below, by the way.
Yeah.
I nailed him and nailed myself at the same time. It was literally like from about here to here, it was yellow, brown.
So you booted a child and came out worse yourself.
Pretty much.
But the thing is that I think because obviously you're saying about being committed, that actually works in your favour a lot of the time, because I think the chances of you getting injured are actually lessened. And
Well, yeah,
sometimes
if you dangle a leg or
yeah,
hit
that's
someone
Yeah,
lightly,
that
that's
was my
when
problem.
you get injured.
Dangling a leg. Like,
If you just go in as hard as you possibly can,
Mm.
it's like like you're not exactly going to get injured.
also
Like,
as well,
something
if,
hits
if someone
somewhere.
else sees that, if the opposition sees that you're prepared to commit to a challenge,
Mhm.
they might then back out a bit themselves.
Yeah.
So then the likelihood of them getting injured increases, obviously, because they're
Yeah.
going right.
it's
you
more
know,
of like a natural instinct to back away. For,
exactly.
Like, the
If
next
they look in
challenge.
Teddy's
Yeah,
eyes and they're like, look, Teddy is making this challenge no matter what. Like, why would you bother?
Yeah.
If they know you're going to be fully committed to it, why
I
would they
wish my
bother?
opposition thought that about me.
Huh?
I said I wish my opposition thought that about me.
Listen, mate. Like maybe it's just like mindset, because obviously in your head you're like, oh, I'm this small guy. Like I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Well, I say that like back then, yeah. Obviously, that's what I wish. Like I just wish to be bigger, literally, and
Yeah.
like to be more intimidating. But yeah, that was never ever gonna happen. But like
You're bigger than me now.
yeah, I know.
But then in
Yeah,
that
a few
situation,
years
like,
too
but then
late.
how do you then get over that?
I literally, mate, I'll be honest with you, I just hit puberty and I grew, and then I just started playing football again, and I just, yeah, and then I did enjoy
Your
the physical
mindset
side of it.
So you feel
mate,
like
honestly,
as soon as that sort of those changes came in, like your mindset just
oh god,
shifted.
yeah, just completely to a more positive, more aggressive, like passionate mindset. Like I was captain for when we played in year 9, and then that was when I was small, and then I got stripped of it. And then the last season.
Was there
I
a
just
story
played.
behind that, or you lost it?
I literally I just weren't good enough.
Yeah.
I weren't playing enough. Obviously because I weren't that dedicated to football at that point.
Yeah.
Purely because of my mindset. And then 2 years ago, 1 year ago, well last year actually, sorry, I got given my captaincy back, and that's purely just because over like not even a large amount of time, a very like within a year, my mindset just completely changed, and then the season started last September, and I got given my captaincy,
Good
and
man.
yeah, that pushed it even further. But yeah, that was purely just because I just grew, and I'm still skinny. I'm quite lanky now actually, but that honestly doesn't bother me that much anymore.
Bit more
Like,
of a
I-
presence.
Yeah, I was what year 11, 5'6", squeaky. That's
Yeah.
year 11 as well. Like
I-
everyone.
So
was,
it came quite late.
Oh,
yeah.
About a
mate.
year ago, I was God, just taller than one, sir.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I'm telling you, I went
He's-
into
he's
year
really
12.
zoomed up, yeah.
I went into year 12 sixth form, and I was maybe 5'8". I didn't have armpit hair or nothing like that, and that was late 16.
Really?
Oh mate, honestly, yeah, I didn't.
Guy for like a longer time, and it's like, hang on, like how does that mess up your head? Because you're seeing everyone else like growing, and you're just like, oh fucking hell, like I feel like I'm this small guy.
Did
who's
you ever
not-
feel like envious of other people?
Yeah, well, envious 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I no, I'm not gonna say that, but like with that mentality of being a small guy, I think you could back this.
Mm-hmm.
I just I had to speak like I was the bigger guy, and that's how I act. I had to act like
So you almost
I was
had to
the bigger guy.
overact it.
Oh mate, yeah.
That gets you into trouble. That gets you into trouble. That though.
I would walk around thinking I was
Thinking
6'2",
yeah.
absolute dog's bollocks. But that's literally what I had to do to just not.
But I'm assuming
actually-
underneath that was a lot of insecurity.
There's no other way to put it.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed acting like that. You know what I mean? Like, I acted like that as well purely because I had mates that would back me if I ever got into trouble.
Oh yeah, if anyone started on you, like,
It was literally
there'd be 20 plus people there right on your back.
It was like, yeah, if someone started on Teddy, it would be peak. Yeah,
It'll be
That's
sorted.
the thing that was
how
good
we
about
dealt
it.
with. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what I loved. That's exactly what I fed off. That is exactly
That's
what
the
I
thing
fed
that
off
was
purely.
good about our secondary school group, as I said. We were very like popular amongst the whole year. Like there was a good.
Right, stop flexing.
Well, no, but
No,
like,
no,
there was,
Yeah,
there was
I
a
don't
whole.
like talking like that, but
I know.
No, I know,
It's just how
I
it
know,
is.
I do.
How to
No, I do
explain
mean like
it,
there
yeah.
are like actualities, like realities that you just need. Like,
Yeah,
so you were
yeah.
like the popular lot.
I'd like to say so, yeah.
Yeah.
But there was about 20 of us,
God,
Yeah.
it was quite.
and
a
it
lot.
was just all one massive group.
But even
and
so, like other people from other groups would come in and out of it. Like,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
I think in year 10, 11, the year group got split down like into three places. You had three different groups. You had our group, sixth form lot now. Well, the
Yeah.
now sixth form lot, and then
that's
you
what
had the
they
quad
called,
lot.
yeah.
And I don't think the sixth form lot really liked us at that age because like we were the more.
The thing you don't
we
know,
were the
like,
more
other
dominant,
years don't
popular
ever-
group. Like there's really no other way to put it. And I do hate saying that because it sounds like we're just a couple of bellends being really arrogant, but. Yeah, I think we were very lucky in that sense though as well.
Yeah, it was quite
If
like a
if I
close-knit
didn't
sort
have a
of-
group of friends like that, I would be nowhere near as confident as I am today. I wouldn't be the person I am today if I
Yeah.
didn't have that group of friends. Yeah, like that group meant more to me than like anything I could think of when I was at school.
I'm curious. So how did you lot become? Was it just like through default, like the fact you're in the same classes,
I know
or?
exactly what story he's about to
Go
tell.
on.
Literally.
Go on, get into it.
So we got put into the same form
Oh, yeah,
at
you could've
Stanborough,
got this
and so me and our mate Alex. So me and Alex were like really good mates, and we were in our induction day, and Sam literally me and Alex sitting down, and he just walked past. He went, "Right, lads," just sat behind us, and then
That's
we
such
just,
a
like,
Sam
literally
thing
just
to do.
spoke.
I feel like you still do the same thing today.
That was the start of all of it, to be honest.
He's not changed a single bit. Oh, yeah, that's literally it. And then from that point, the induction day, because he was mates with Alfie Parrish, weren't you? And I knew Alfie anyway through family. So yeah, it just clicked immediately. And then me, him, and Alex were our own little trio for year 7.
Yeah, for most of year 7, I'd say.
Yeah, and then it just went from there. And I think year 8 is where we kind of merged into a bigger.
You started
group.
recruiting people.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
oh yeah. We were the centre of it.
Yeah, we're the founders.
No, but it just grew from there really. We did have a really good group of mates.
Oh,
We
yeah,
were really lucky,
It was so good.
and it was just we weren't even like troublesome though, were we? Like
No.
we'd mess about.
It's one of them
but-
though, like a big group of lads, like you're gonna dick around a bit.
Yeah, oh yeah, obviously, but we weren't like going about getting like excluded, expelled. Like we had the odd case where
Yeah,
one of
there
us
was the
went,
odds.
but
Like you
On
knew
incident,
where that
yeah.
line was. And
yeah,
like,
we were a group of lads where we'd mess about and we'd take the piss and shit like that, but.
Teachers would see us and they'd be like,
Teachers
"Oh,
loved
fuck,
us, literally,
yeah."
they really did. They loved the majority of us. I say the majority, yeah, there was a few that they didn't like.
Yeah, but they always have it in for a few.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But it's great.
Yeah.
That's great for you though, because if you're not one of them, if anything happens, the blame just shifts onto them.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
I had that a lot
absolutely,
because like, I was quite good. Like, I was like, academically like there, so like they'd be like, oh, Sam wouldn't do anything. Like he's
Yeah.
in this group, but so I just,
That's exactly
Probably.
him. That is
Yeah.
exactly him. Yeah,
Yeah.
he could talk, right? But the teachers, so hopefully you agree on this. Let's say we were talking, like you would talk to me, but I would get the blame. Like that's how it
This
was.
is history, yeah.
Yeah, history in year 7. Yeah, he got me put on report in year 7.
Oh, well, that was
I blame him for that.
Joke.
Yeah.
Do you remember Mr. Gray?
Yeah.
He was, cause oh my god, I managed to trap a chair in the corner, the one that he was sitting on.
trap a chair in the. Can you just?
I can't remember how it was. I think
we
I,
were
like,
we were
into,
right in
like,
the corner of the room.
Yeah, like we was in
Yeah.
the back left corner of the room, and I think I
Like you wedged a chair into the corner.
yeah,
you
I think
mean?
I'd like interlocked it with my legs, and I just wasn't moving or something like that. And he like at this point he had like little man syndrome,
Oh, that's what they call
and
it.
he
I've
literally
not
he
missed
was
that.
yanking at this chair like. Think about something that's stuck on a wall, like an immovable object, and he just going back and forth yanking it. and he finally got it out, and he yanked it so hard that he almost fell over.
Yeah.
And like at this point, there was already people outside getting spoken to, for like bad behaviour and stuff, and they got put on report. And then like the teacher just goes, right, Teddy, out, and I was sitting there like,
fuck.
Yeah. It was weird though, like going into year 7. I don't know about you because you obviously were the same throughout all of school, just laid back, and just there, like you talk, obviously,
Just
getting
calm
your
and
bit of
stuff,
trouble.
yeah.
I want to talk a bit about that, like how. I'm just going to plug that in. Yeah, I want to talk about that a bit, like how your mindset, you're just so chilled out. Like, what goes through, or does nothing go through your mind?
I've been meaning to ask you that for as long as I've known
No, but
you.
you're not cold hearted. Like, you're a really nice guy. Like, it's not like you just don't give a shit about stuff. Like, but you're so, like, almost like everyone else is, say, going at like 70 miles an hour. Sam's just chilling
He's
along,
just
like,
cruising, yeah.
just
I
cruising.
I don't know. I just know that things will come.
Mm.
They'll come when they'll come, and like I'd say I'm a strong believer in like fate and destiny.
Yeah.
Like my life's already planned out.
Yeah.
I know that if I decide to do this, decide to do that, like I was always destined to decide to do that.
Yeah. And with that just comes any, I guess, anxiety or like stressing about stuff. Like, it doesn't really come to the
Like,
picture of you.
don't get me wrong. I do stress and I do get anxious about things.
Yeah.
But I
You're
don't
good
really
at
show
not
it. And
showing
I
it,
don't.
though.
I don't let it affect how I'm doing or what I'm doing too
Yeah.
much. Like it's definitely there.
But then I think with that, then almost you crush it before it becomes a thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, if you don't let it, because I think we, to some extent, suffer from that. Like, where we'll go, oh fuck,
Yeah.
should I have done that? Should I not have
Yeah.
done that? Should I do this? Shouldn't I?
Those shower thoughts.
But how do we respond to that? And I think if we're doing what Sam's doing, where he's just like going, okay, that's there, I'm just gonna crack on.
I'd say it's especially when it's something that you actually can't do anything about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like say if it's, I don't know, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
We think, so for instance, like with Teddy, like to bring it up again, like when you was thinking about like your height and that, like when you were struggling with that, like how did it benefit you stressing about it?
Oh, we didn't, yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's nothing you can do.
Like I say, you just got to put up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's
but
not- there's
I
not
mean
a lot
that's
you
what
can do.
that's what I've done. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you said, in the later years, so year 11 especially, when I was still sitting there and I was like, holy shit,
When am I
I'm
gonna
still
grow?
like this? Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I just knew that it had to come about.
Yeah.
It had to happen, and then from that point, yeah, I was a lot more chilled out of it, a lot less insecure. But yeah,
Because I'd say, you know how much, I'd say everyone overthinks things.
Yeah.
But I just think, how realistic is what I'm overthinking? Like you go to
Yeah.
that you go to that very extreme. Like say
Yeah.
if I don't know, someone isn't talking to you for a couple of hours. Say your girlfriend, she's not talking to you for a couple of hours. You think, oh, she could be seeing another guy right now.
Yeah.
And then you sit there thinking,
what are the
Really?
The thing
chances
is,
of
but the thing is,
Well,
but
that's not
even
gonna
like,
happen.
it's one of them as well. Like, that's really good that you're able to just do that. Like, but it's one of them as well. Like, even if she is, it's done now.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, you'll deal with the consequences. Like, so you gain nothing from work. You only just take away from yourself by worrying about stressing about
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
And as well, sometimes as well, it's one of them where, so all likelihood, nothing's happening. It's just maybe she's just out having
Yeah.
fun, whatever.
yeah, having a nap or something.
See,
yeah.
I'm the complete opposite.
Deciding not to do the same. But you could then go, okay, if you're then bothering them, hassling them, acting in a way where it's like they've done something, you almost manifest that thing. You almost bring it into reality, because then they then become on edge, and they then start going like, oh, okay,
Make them
maybe
say something that
maybe
they
I-
might regret saying. Or,
Exactly, and then you almost create the problem. Then that brings in that sort of lack of trust and insecurity into the relationship, and it's difficult. Because if you're then in your head going, oh, like, I haven't responded in a couple of hours, like, why, she's seeing someone.
Yeah.
Then it almost then you act that way. Then because it's one of them, like, you ever feel like, you haven't done something wrong, but almost like someone like accuses you of it, and you're just like, right, hang on.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's like when you know something, and you're getting it across, and it's just like, and they're oh, no, I'm not gonna.
Nah,
No,
we won't bring it up.
no.
That was an instant. I love that. Like, there's something obviously popped into Sam's head, and
Yeah,
instantly
come
it's
on.
just like, nah, okay, we'll move on.
Well, what were you getting at?
Nothing.
Off air, we'll discuss it.
Mm.
But yeah, it's one of them you can almost bring whatever that thing you're stressing about, just by stressing about it, you bring it into reality.
Mate, I mean, like, the thing is, he could give a million examples. I think I envied him so much throughout year 11, like, so much. You want to explain what his routine was after, when we'd all be revising? Do you want to explain what your routine was?
I just didn't revise. I'd come home from school, get a bit tired, and just go for a nap.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I like
And
that.
I'd wake up, I don't know, play some PS4, watch a film or something. Like, I reckon a lot of people thought I was exaggerating, but
that's what you were doing.
It's God's honest truth.
Because one of them, like, some people can
reason I
say that, and not, you know, them ones where they're just like, oh yeah, I'm doing nothing, like, I'm not working.
It's just to seem cool, innit?
Just
like,
to, yeah, but then you know they're studying behind the scenes.
The only revision I'd do was the sort, because we didn't get any like study leave or anything like that. They made us stay in school, and they'd set up little like revision lessons at the times where we would have our lessons and other people doing exams and stuff. And that was the only time I did any revision. And even then, I'd just have a textbook and I'd just be reading. I wouldn't be doing, you know, any like
anything serious.
Anything serious. I'd just literally be sitting there.
I think you're very academically gifted though, naturally. Like, we had science together for God knows how, like 3 years, 2-3 years maybe.
I'd say
And
he
would just sit there. He'd
just get it.
Yeah, literally, like, the teacher would talk. He'd ask the odd question, and he'd have it locked in already. And
I just absorb things quite easily.
Yeah.
But I'd say I could be a hell of a lot smarter. It's just I'm quite lazy.
But it's one of them though. Like, if it's not a priority for you, if you don't want to be academic and do all this studying, then why?
No.
Like, if it, you know, ultimately, like, we've only got so many years on this earth.
Yeah.
So like,
don't get started on this.
No, we're not going
I've been
crazy.
thinking about it way
No,
too much recently.
But do you know what? It's a good thing. Like, if we didn't have a limited number of years on this earth, then nothing would mean anything.
Yeah.
If that makes it, like, you almost define like the beauty of things, like why things are important, like why things matter, based on the fact that they're not going to last forever.
Oh shit. Yeah, I think about like that stuff like a lot. Like, especially now, I don't know why. Just something kind of clicked in me, and it's like what I think about.
What
it's
do you
like
think?
Mentality.
Like during COVID, is that? Or?
I wouldn't even say COVID. It's more like within the last like few months. I think, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I just got really high one night, and it just kind of like all clicked for me. And it's like, I just think about like, and that's honestly like, that's me being truthful. Like, I think about it a lot, and I've kind of turned into a mentality now where I'm just like, look, like, I've only got this amount of years. I want to do something that I actually feel like I've achieved something.
Mate, that's such a good because I think a lot of us bounce through life where we're just like, okay, we take shit for granted.
Yeah.
Whereas I think if you always have, and it's one of them, it's counterintuitive, because you think, oh, if I'm worrying, not worrying, but if I'm thinking about death, or if I'm thinking about the fact that we've only got so many years, so much time to spend, then you then actually appreciate things a hell of a lot more. If that's at the back of your mind, if you're going because it's one that, like, I've seen people explain it like this, like, you never, and it's not anything like groundbreaking, but like, you never know when it's going to be like the last time you have a cup of coffee, or the last time when you play football, or the was it a good cup of tea?
I'll tell you what,
it would be a banging man.
There we go. But it's one of them, like, when you're playing football, you're playing it and you're going, oh yeah, but I'm going to be playing more games. You never know what's around the corner. Exactly. Like, you could end up with a leg breaker,
that game,
or you never know, on the way back your car could get just blindsided, or you crash your car, and that it's just like, fucking hell. You take so much shit for granted, but like, if you have just like an ounce of that when you're experiencing those good moments, I take so much more from it.
That heavily hit me when Nicola Westcott passed away.
Yeah, that was
I literally, when I heard that, I was sitting there like, holy shit.
I don't even think I fully processed it yet, because it was just so like out of nowhere. I remember literally, just like,
I remember talking to her the day before. I think 2 days before.
Yeah, she literally like I think she like bought me my lunch or something. Like, she gave me my lunch for free a couple of days before, because like they weren't working upstairs, and yeah, she was so lovely. He told me I think it was Christmas Eve as well. Don't even get me started what their family must have gone through at that period.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I think Sean's done so well. Like he, still at work and stuff. He's such a positive man. I love Sean. He's a lovely guy.
Yeah, but
Still, you can't.
You have no words for that
yeah,
situation.
exactly.
Like
It was just I was honestly speechless. He messaged me and he was like, "Oh, do you hear what happened about Nicola?" And my first instinct, obviously, was to say, "What? She been fired?"
yeah,
And
like something.
You
Like,
not gonna think to that
He
extreme.
just
yeah.
told me. He told me, and like I just remember staring at it, and I was in disbelief. I was in denial. I was like, "No, you're actually lying." Like that's what I said to
the
him.
thing is, like, because I think the easier thing to come to is like, oh, this is just some sort of really sick joke that you're making.
I
Like,
did originally.
do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know? Like, you're just like, well, like that's fucked up that
Yeah,
you're
it's
joking
not
about something
funny
like
at
that.
all. Yeah.
But
I mean, I remember I went downstairs as well, and I went to my mum, and I just kind of, I was like stuttering when I was saying it. I was like, well, this kind of just happened, and I don't really know like how to process it. And my mum started crying. Like it's just
It is mental.
obviously as well with
like, it's because
Yeah.
it's so out
Yeah.
of the blue. Like,
yeah.
I think
Well,
that's
same thing
what-
with Carol as well.
I never actually knew Carol, but obviously I know.
Oh,
I know that
no,
Chris.
yeah, I know you were talking about that.
obviously
Yeah,
I know Chris.
know
And
as
Chris
well,
is
yeah.
lovely as well. I love Chris.
But it's
Is
like,
that no? Yeah,
It's,
I think I don't know if I was working there when that happened. I can't.
I think
You
you might have
probably
been.
was, yeah.
I think you might have been. But the thing, I don't know if you would have come because when do you normally you do in the evenings? Don't you?
I do
normally?
twilights. Yeah.
Yeah, so she would normally be like first thing,
Oh, okay,
Carol,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's just like you just see
It's
these
just
people every day,
weird.
and you're like, fucking hell,
Mm.
they can just literally be snaps like that.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's just like you don't know what you've got until it's gone.
Yeah, but it shouldn't take shit like that to happen for you
Yeah.
to realise that. But I think
That's the way it goes, though.
It
I
is
think.
the way it
That
goes.
is
It's
always
exactly
the
how it
case.
goes.
You
Yeah.
don't make the most of it until you're sitting there thinking, shit.
Yeah.
You almost
I
have
think
to-
I tell you what, right? I heard a quote. I might not say this right,
No,
but
go
it
for it.
honestly hit me. It was like you live two lives. One life up into the point like
I know
where
the exact-
you realise.
that
I
you only-
don't know
I
how
know the
to
exact
say
quote.
it.
It's like I think it's like a man has two lives. Like the first one up until he realises he only has one life.
That's the exact.
And then after that,
yeah.
so it's almost bringing in like exactly what we've been saying
Yeah.
about the fact that we take so much stuff for granted.
Mm.
Like and until you realise that time is precious, like you just don't really truly enjoy anything. And it's unfortunately, it usually
Yeah.
does take something like a traumatic thing like that to happen. You know, to just lose someone who works with you, or whatever situation for you to realise that. But
yeah.
you know, I guess that's you got to look at the good things out of stuff. That's
Yeah.
one good thing out of anything bad that happens is then you have that chance to then just maybe appreciate things more fully.
Mm-hmm.
And it's scary because someone like Nicola and Carol as well, both so young.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think that's the worst part about
Like
it. Just
you think about the age
as
they're at,
well.
like it probably wouldn't have been that long that they were thinking about. Okay, I'm going to start winding down work, thinking about retiring eventually, then like enjoy those like golden years. Like that's when you spend the time with your family and like your kids and like see them grow up and like do all that enjoyable shit. And it's
Yeah.
like fucking hell.
Yeah, it's a scary thought. I think there's no other way to put it.
Yeah. Fucking hell, we have gone
Oh, we
Have
go
we?
deep. Huh?
Oh,
No,
Oh,
we
I
have-
thought
we
you
have-
meant time-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, no. Although we have gone deep here, but I'm just looking
Oh,
at the time.
yeah.
We've only got about 10 minutes left.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's gone quick.
It does actually fly.
It
yeah.
always does.
Yeah.
It always does. But we'll start wrapping up a bit, I guess. It's been a weird one. We sort of went from talking about Spurs,
As much as sad Spurs is at the moment.
about how
Yeah.
tragic Spurs is,
Yeah.
and then we sort of jumped onto a few other things as well. But I've enjoyed it. Like
Oh yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that.
I always come into these episodes a little bit like, okay, what the fuck are we going to talk about?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm more anxious for the other person because I'm like, I don't want them to feel like, oh, I'm going to be sat across from you. What the fuck am I saying? What am I doing? Why
Yeah.
did I sign up for this? But I think once you almost coming into it, where you're like, oh, okay, we're just going to chat about something that's familiar to you, Spurs.
Yeah.
It's easy for you to talk
It's
about, and then
familiar to all of
from
us, yeah.
from that, I think it's then you go, okay, what else can
Yeah.
we get into?
Just conversations just bounce off each other.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly.
That's a
what's
proper
happening as
conversation,
well.
though.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, like where we started and where we ended, it must have just flowed consistently. Yeah.
I was going to say, if a conversation didn't naturally start,
Mm.
was there anything that you sort of personally wanted to bring up? Like any questions for either of us?
Nah, the only thing I was going to mention was about Teddy. You know when you did that overtime shift?
Oh no!
I was going to dig you out here. What was it? You signed up to start at like 7 a.m.
I started an overtime shift at 7 a.m. I signed up to it, sorry, and it was 7 till 10 on tills, and I turned up at 7 p.m. thinking it was 7 p.m. and Josh just turned around to me and was just like, "Mate, you're 12 hours late."
But I don't think they hadn't got in contact with you, had they?
Because
I think that,
that's what when that got pointed out to me.
Maybe they just oh, it's Teddy, he's just forgotten. And then obviously then it comes to 12 hours later and you actually eventually rock up and they're looking around just like, what? Like,
no, but I think that's very bad on Waitrose part, because what if
something that happens?
There was a fire or something like that, and then look at the right, it's like, oh, who's
not
here?
Oh yeah,
Teddy's
in that sense,
not here.
That's happened to me a couple of times actually. I turn up an hour late for a shift, an overtime shift again. I just got my times mixed up, and they've no contact or anything like that. But I don't know if they actually care or.
It's one of them that I think, I'm sure they do care about you, Teddy. I think it was more. Yeah. They definitely do. At least Sam and I do.
Yeah, that's the.
We can say that for sure. Well,
if they cared about me, they'd give me holiday over the summer.
But as we come towards the end, were there any last things that you guys wanted to touch on yourselves? That was my one.
I had a question for you, like coming into it. Like,
yeah.
Do you have an inspiration, like from starting a podcast, like from like maybe Joe Rogan watching YouTube?
What, like someone that I've seen doing it, and I've
and you just.
To be fair, Joe, I'm a big fan of Joe Rogan's. I like what he does. It's not like a set kind of formula. He's just going into the episode. He's got someone across from him who's got something interesting, and I guess in some ways I am trying to mirror that and go right. We've got an everyday person, and they've got interesting shit about them. But often, I think the difficulty with what I'm trying to do is oftentimes they don't realise it. They don't realise that they've got a lot of interesting insights and takes, and because no one really gets a chance to ask them, or they don't really have a chance to express it. So, so I do quite like Joe Rogan, but there's not like a set person that I'm trying to follow. I think my inspiration more comes from the fact that I really enjoy doing this. Like, it really helps me, particularly like my mental health. Like, it really helps me having like down to earth conversations with people. Like, just sometimes silly, sometimes serious, bouncing between the two. I'd say that's more my inspiration. The fact that I really just enjoy it. But
it don't get any better than that though, does it? When you enjoy something,
I just enjoy it. But so that's your question, Teddy. What about you, Sam? Hard hitting.
Sam. You're a deep guy. You've got to add something.
God, is it bad that I don't?
No.
Mate, if you don't, that means we've covered a lot of things you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Have you got any feedback? Anything that could be better?
You'll have feedback when I see this 360-degree camera.
So that's one thing I haven't mentioned.
Sam. We need to.
It could be corrupted. It cut out halfway through. I think there must be a timer on it. But I didn't mention that for the podcast. So we're trying out a new camera setup. So a 360 camera where it's basically, if I do it right, you can basically on YouTube just literally with your mouse click and point as to who you want to see. So I imagine everyone's gonna be focused on Teddy. What can we say? But so you can literally just click around and like go like, oh, I want to look over there. Or to be honest, you could probably on an angle just look out the window.
People are just going to read a book.
Read a book. Honestly, that's something I could do. I could just have like a sheet there or something, just like
just flip the page every minute.
Just like there you go. If you don't want to pay attention to our conversation, just in the corner there.
Yeah, multitasking.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So you don't have any questions at all, Sam? It's fine if you don't.
Yeah, I don't think
there's no pressure to. Anything you'd like to say to anyone who might be listening? Call anyone out? Big anyone up? What about the Gammons?
Only Gammon I know is Jacob, so I feel like it's a bit unfair for me to call them all now.
Listen, the Palmley Gammon beef, I don't think we've explained this to Teddy yet, but we're going to do an episode where it's, because obviously there's 3 Palmley brothers who've all worked at Waitrose, 3 Gammon brothers that have all worked at Waitrose. So we think there's something there.
Oh, right.
You can have them clashing, coming together. I think it's going to be it'll be like a Christmas special episode. But we need to start sowing the seed. So like, come on, like say something about Jake. Just like, you were late on your delivery route the other day.
I mean, he gets no tips. That's pretty funny.
There you go.
He always gets so head lost when he gets no tips.
Doesn't get any tips.
No. And me and Joe are just sitting there like, I've got about £5 in my coat. I just can't put it on the machine yet because the fog's broken.
Yeah, that's winding me up at the moment.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
Don't get me wrong, it can stay broken because we're getting free food.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So I'm not complaining.
But I do want to buy a really cheap chocolate bar at one
I
point.
always say that in the poll survey. I'm like, can we have free food?
That's it. Yeah, you got
That's
me into that
literally-
as well.
Yeah,
That's
and
all
you
I
keep
put.
saying
That's
Every
all I
time,
put as
free
well.
food, free food, free food. I love it.
Yeah.
Right. I guess we'll finish up then, boys. It's been an
That
absolute
sounds good.
pleasure for me. Like, yeah, I really enjoy it. Like, as I say, I go into it going, oh, what the fuck are we going to talk about? And it's actually been a
Two
really
such basic teenagers.
I think-
No,
I
not
thought
at
you was
all.
gonna
I wouldn't
have-
say that. I wouldn't say
I
that.
thought you was going to have some questions, like some really spicy ones, like cracked up for us, and we are going to be sitting there like.
Do you know?
oh,
So I
yeah,
tried that. So a little bit with actually Snowy Joe, and like I didn't like it. Like they weren't. It wasn't like a set format, but like we'd had a list of things that he said he wanted to talk about, and I guess
Yeah.
because I didn't know him at all, that was perhaps
Yeah.
more why something to lean on a bit.
I think that's weird though, because like with Joe, if I was to ever do that with him, I'd feel comfortable like asking him anything. Not even because I know him, but I know he doesn't take offence to a lot of things.
No.
He's quite laid
Yeah,
back in
you
that
can
sense
say
as
that
well.
well.
So yeah,
We'll close up there then, boys. But yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed
cheers
it.
for
Yeah,
having
we'll
me,
have a
mate.
go at
I've
the
really
360
enjoyed
video,
it.
see how
Yeah.
that's turned out.
Oh god.
It's done, boys.
Lovely.
How was that?
class.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Mate, fuck knows how that's turned out, though.
Mate, I'm